Hey guys, so we're gonna do chapter 3, lesson 2 today. This is going to be, we're starting it. We're going to be reading pages 104 and 105 together. So you want to make sure that you can do your notes pages afterwards. If you want to print them out, that might be easier, or you can kind of have this video playing at the same time and also completing your notes pages. So yesterday you guys should have done your vocabulary for legislative branch, executive branch, judicial branch, checks and balances, control, enforce, and ensure. So those are our vocabulary words for this section, for this lesson. So it's important that you do those vocabulary words because then at least kind of gives you that information for as we're reading. You're not like, oh, what is that? You already know, okay? So let's get started reading. So lesson 2, how our government works. When we're done reading this entire lesson, you should know the responsibilities of the 3 branches of the United States government. So what we're going to do is we're going to start reading. The Constitution describes how the federal or national government of the United States is set up. The government has 3 different branches or parts. They are the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. If you have a highlighter, then you want to highlight that section in your book. There are 3 branches and their responsibilities. The legislative branch of the federal government makes laws or rules that Americans must obey. I would highlight that too. That's really important. This branch, called Congress, has 2 parts. One is the House of Representatives, known as the House. The other is the Senate. The House of Representatives and the Senate work together to create and pass laws. The nation's citizens elect all members of Congress. Each state elects 2 representatives called senators to the Senate. Each state also elects representatives to the House. The number of House representatives in each state elected depends on the state's population. So California has a large population, elects more than 50 representatives to the House. States with a smaller population elect fewer representatives. Alaska, for example, selects 1. Even though Alaska is a very big state, Alaska only has a certain small population. Some members of Congress were leaders in other areas of American life before they became congressmen and congresswomen. For example, John Lewis, a congressman from Georgia, was a leader in the struggle for African American civil rights in the 1960s. The president is the head of the executive branch. Highlight that line right there. The president is the head of the executive branch. This branch is in charge of carrying out all the laws that are written by Congress. The president is also the head of our country's armed forces. Citizens vote for the president in our national election, which is something that we just did. We just voted for our new president. The executive branch includes the vice president and the group of officials called the cabinet. The cabinet advises the president on education, health, and economy. It also gives advice on international issues such as foreign trade and war. You know, like when we are talking or maybe we need help with something, sometimes we go to other people like our parents or a teacher or someone we can trust to give us advice as to what we should do when we're making a decision. So the cabinet is the same thing. The cabinet are people who the president has that are trusted people that he knows or she knows is going to help them make the right decisions when it comes to education, health, economy, even if we have to go to war or what we should do with another country. They have those people that they contact and talk to that help them make a decision. Okay, let's keep reading. The judicial branch makes sure that our nation's laws agree with the Constitution. So highlight that sentence. The highest level of the judicial branch is the Supreme Court. 9 justices make up the Supreme Court. Supreme Court justices are not elected. They are appointed by the president and then approved by the Senate. Once they're approved, Supreme Court justices can serve for their entire life. So Supreme Court justices, one of the justices actually just died. She passed away, and it was really, really sad. So what ended up happening is that they were looking for someone else to take her place, because there always has to be 9 justices. And they came up and they had a couple of people who were recommended. And then they had trials, what they call trials, where they asked questions to figure out whether or not that person, that candidate, is going to be a good fit. And then they make a decision based on that information, and that information only. So the Senate will ask questions to this person, and then they decide, yeah, I think this will be a good one. Or if they decide that this is not going to be a good fit, they look at another candidate, and they keep going until they find the perfect fit. So that ends this section. Make sure you do your notes pages. I shouldn't say the section. That ends this lesson for today. Make sure you do your notes pages so that you're able to find this information when it comes to the quiz time and the test time, okay?